To get some breaking news. We've got earnings out for Salesforce just crossing the wires right now. You take a look at the stock reaction here, up just about 2%. It looks like at least a beat here on the headline numbers for Salesforce. Adjusted EPS coming in at $2.56. That was better than what the street had been anticipating. You've got revenue up on your screen at $9.33 billion. That was better than what the street had been forecasting at $9.23 billion. Digging in to some of these other numbers here, service revenue during the quarter, that was also a beat, $2.26 billion. The estimate was for $2.21 billion. And Josh, when you take a look at the stock reaction to this, certainly a lot was riding on this report, especially following that previous earnings report that we got from Salesforce. Lots of questions from the street about the fact whether or not Salesforce is going to see a little bit more traction from some of their AI products. And at least it looks like from this initial take on this earnings report, of course, we're going to wait for the call for a little bit more. But again, at least the street pretty much encouraged by these beats that we are getting.
Yeah, I remember heading into this print, this stock had really not done much. I mean, year to date, it was basically flat. It was actually underperforming the IGV, the software ETF. It was interesting, Sean, because even some bulls on the street, I know, at least in their previews, they had been a bit nervous because of the macro, because of the selling environment. I think you'll have certainly questions for Benioff about that, about the macro. What is he seeing about their Gen AI strategy? Some on the street I know are a little bit skeptical about his Gen AI roadmap. I know analysts have questions about really just sort of the AI functionality, the price, what really is the differentiation. So I would expect him to get pressed on that. But listen, there are, even with this, the stock price and hasn't done much, though we are popping here in the after hours, you still have plenty of bulls on this stock. They'll argue, listen, Benioff ultimately is a leader in several very important software verticals and markets. They'll argue there are growth drivers ahead. And that really Benioff is now committed to a much more sort of efficient business model. It's no longer really growth at all costs there.
Yeah, certainly, Josh. I also want to point out an executive change happening at Salesforce. Amy Weaver, their president and CFO, will be stepping down. The company is saying that she is going to stay on, going to remain CFO until a successor is named. She was appointed that in 2021. Before she was a CFO and president of Salesforce, she was a former chief legal officer there, so has been at Salesforce for quite some years. Prior to that, she had been elsewhere there, including Expedia Group, before coming on to Salesforce. So again, an executive shakeup here for Salesforce, certainly to note here with their CFO, Amy Weaver, stepping down.